Good evening, everyone. I am super excited today because the guest whom we have today with us is an amazing individual. He has a walk-in library, which he just told me like 5 minutes back, and I'm very excited to have a look at that if he's going to allow me to have a look at his library. But the person is an amazing person. You already probably know about him. You must have read about him. I'm going to introduce you today through Read Pakistan's platform. We have such a special person with us, Mr. Mir Muhammad Ali Khan, who is a Wall Street trained Pakistani investment banker. He's an author, amazing person, a capital markets advisor, who has been living in Pakistan since 2009. After having spent like almost majority of his life overseas, this is the time where we can have benefit from him. So from the paternal side, he is from the family of Mirs of Hyderabad, Deccan, which most of us are acquainted with. And from the maternal side, he's the grandson of Sayyid Ali Asghar Bilgrami. Bilgramis are a very renowned family, so we know about that family as well. The last governor of the Deccan state under the rule of Mir Muhammad Ali Khan, and the last Nazim of Hyderabad Deccan. So this is basically which comes from the paternal and the maternal side. Mir Muhammad Ali Khan as a person, he is extremely humble, and this is what we're going to know as well through the coming hour too. Widely known as the Mir Mak, is credited with being the first Muslim in the history of Wall Street to have founded and owned a full-service investment bank at the age of 29, which is super amazing, extremely impressive. So this is, just a bit from our side, from Read Pakistan side. He also is, I'm not going to stop here because the introduction is, mashallah, mashallah, it is amazing. It is outstanding, extravagant. I'm just going to add a few lines here. The Prudential and other smaller investment banks on Wall Street, he has the ability, and he has been promoting the post of executive vice president. And the amazing thing is that he was doing it at the very minor age of 27 years. That's something which we all know is something out of this world. So we have with us today Mir Sahab. Thank you so very much, Mir Sahab, for being with us. I know there is no time in your schedule at all, and you have pulled out the time. Thank you so very much.
I don't like, time management is something that I learned very early in my age. And when people say, I don't have time to do this or do that, then you must have committed wrongly and you didn't check your schedule right. So to me, you make time for important things. And this topic, when I was invited, I was sitting in the middle of Balochistan a month ago when I was contacted by Farrukh. And I tell you, my father has been in the hospital for the past 15 days, and he just got released 2 days ago. And I'm with age, I'm becoming a bit forgetful. But this interview, I couldn't forget. I'm at the office right now. I've come 3 hours, so I needed to get some work. I don't work on Saturdays, but I came because books, this topic literally bothers me at times in this country. Bothers me, and I'm using that word very carefully.
Yes.
People say that this, as I was talking to you earlier off camera, I said to you that the love of books was instilled in me. No child accidentally falls in love with books. I don't believe that. I believe it is the duty of the parents. I had a very small pocket money every month since 8 years of age. And I could not even ask for 2 rupees extra. That's how strict my family rules were. Okay. But if I went to my mother, who comes from a family of PhDs, my naniyal, my maternal side, it scares me, literally scares me, because you have a master's, you're considered like, you just got a master's degree. So I'm like the black sheep of the family, but I've studied a lot. So I couldn't get 2 rupees extra. But if I went to my mother and I said, Mom, I want to buy books, she would buy me 4 books. And if I would finish them within the month, and back then what? I wanted comic books, so I wanted Spider-Man, Batman, God knows how many men were out there, this man, that man. Then I started reading small storybooks, and every time I would ask my mother for books, she would buy me one. That's how my reading habit was built.
Yes. That's so amazing, because you are so right about this. I've interviewed a lot of people, Mirza, but fortunately,
are we clear? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can. Is my voice clear?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Now
so I was just saying, Mirza, that there's so many people, so many intellectuals, so many scholars, and most of the time when we talk to them, and even when I have these read sessions with them, and I ask them their story, where did it all started from? Most of them would say it started from our childhood. It started from our parents, how they read to us, how they treated us, how they treated books. And so this is like amazing. One question that I'm going to, because the topic is directly related with you, it was selected because of your amazing personality and how successful, mashallah, you are in life. And tell me just, you have to tell us your story, that books played, and what role do actually generally books play in a successful person's life. So this is the topic, and I want you to please associate it with your personal experiences.
Okay. I was a bit studious throughout my life because the reading habit, I have a very bad reading habit. Bad meaning, when I say bad, I say smilingly, because my family at times gets irritated. I have 1.5 hours every night for the past 30 years, no matter where I am. I read before I sleep.
Wow.
No matter where I am. And I have traveled a lot. So my wife packs 4 to 5 books in my suitcase when I go somewhere. So she knows, what books do you want packed? Nobody asks me what suit you want packed, what tie you want packed. So
amazing.
This reading habit of mine, people today, the young people today, when they comment on social media, or I give lots of speeches at universities, and when I hear, I don't know, when I know that, when I hear that word, I don't know, and I see a smartphone in that child's hand, that question or that comment, I don't know, bothers me. How can you not know when you have internet in your hand? Because I was shifted from non-internet to internet time. When I was in university at Rutgers, there was no internet. I used to go to the library where we had cue cards, index cards, take books out, sit on the floor, flip through the pages, go make microfiche copies, and 10 cents a copy. And I used to be broke in university, I swear. If I had to make 200 pages, that's $20. $20 was my entire week's lunch money. Entire weeks I can spend $3 and have great pizza lunch. So books played a great role in my life. When I landed on Wall Street, I landed on Wall Street. Believe me, it is the most cutthroat place in the world.
Yes.
I've spent my entire life overseas. Even America is not cutthroat. You work in Connecticut, you work in California, you work in Idaho, wherever you work, it is not a cutthroat place. It is an efficient place. It's a competitive place. Competitiveness and efficiency take the back seat because you have to have that. It is swimming with the sharks and getting bitten every second. There are no mentors. Nobody wants to teach you. You get the training that everybody else gets. Not everybody has the same comprehension level, but that's it. You get 6 hours of training for 3 months, whatever it is. You're sent packing your bags. Then you land. I started as a stockbroker. And stockbroker's job is to call people, random people in America. And it's like the movies, 15 people, seats, 300 rows, 800, 900,000 stockbrokers. And I started at the world's largest financial institution at that time, Prudential. And no mentors. Who do I go to? There's no internet that I can search, or there's no social media that I can connect with someone. Books. When every other person was going, and Wall Street is a very party place. So on weekends, everybody went to the Hamptons, if there's winters, they went to Florida. You know what I would do, Beta? I would pick up the books and I would lock myself in the room. Saturdays, I would read finance books. Sundays, I would read self-help books. That was my routine for 3 years. 3 years.
Wow.
I did not take a single weekend off. I did not go anywhere. I lost friends. And 7 years later, I hired all same friends 8 years later when I opened up the investment bank. Each and every friend of mine from my university days, if they're watching, they're my life. I love them. But I don't say it in a wrong way, but I bug them a lot. They used to call me a geek. In America, being called a geek when you're 21, that's not something good, you know?
Oh.
I've never been a geek. I would have loved to be with them, go fishing, go partying, go clubbing, go wherever they are going. I would love to do that. But self-help books. And the more I read, the more I discovered myself. People say they gain knowledge. Knowledge is secondary. There was no other way of me discovering myself. Books played the role of a mirror to me. Mirror. It created critical thinking in me. I remember, I don't read novels, but I remember reading novel 1984 of George Orwell, where he says it was a dark and bright day in April, and the clock was striking 13. The book starts. And that was the beginning of my critical thinking. I said, it was a dark and bright day? How could it?
Connection issue. I'm sorry, I think there has been a slight connection issue, everyone, but that's not going to be a problem because I'm pretty sure that Mr. Mir is going to be online again in just about a few seconds. So all of you just have to bear with us, be a little patient so that, we can sort of get him back online. And by the way, thank you very much. Let me bring it to everyone's notice, whoever is here with us live, that everybody is saying hello to Amir Sahab, and then they're appreciating. We welcome you both. Muhammad Israr says, and so on. Just a second. I think Mr. Mir is back. Let me add him so that things are. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
I think, no, it's perfectly fine. It happens sometimes. So I'm
like I was saying, the George Orwell's novel starts with that sentence, and that was the beginning of my critical thinking. I said, how could it be a cold, dark, and bright day, and the clock doesn't strike 13? Clock only strikes 12.
Yes. Practically juxtaposed statement. Amazing. Yes.
And that made me discover myself that, you know what? I can learn to think critically. Nice. And I became a fan of the word learn to. People say he's God gifted. Nobody's God gifted. You discover yourself. You discover that you have that in you. And then you work upon it. You work upon it, work upon it, work upon it. And that critical thinking and discovering yourself brings you emotional management. Emotional management in a successful person's life is the most important thing. If you cannot manage your emotions, how are you going to manage 800 people and their emotions who work for you, or 1,000 people, or 50 people, or 100 people? How can you? How can I teach somebody how to drive when I'm afraid of driving, or I'm not a master of driving? Master. So before one wants to be an entrepreneur or a leader, one has to chisel himself or herself. Chisel. And I say that word chisel. You have to chisel yourself. Because every person is a stone, metaphorically speaking. Everybody gets a square, round piece of stone. You have to chisel yourself. Somebody chisels themselves into being a doctor. Somebody chisels themselves being into a journalist. You chisel yourself. And in order to see what you want to get yourself chiseled into, books will lead you there. I am an accidental investment banker. I'm an absolute, yes, yes, and I openly say this. I am absolutely accidental investor. First year of my college, I took every elective course so I can get straight A's and keep my GPA high.
Oh.
Simple and honest cheating method. Okay, simple and honest cheating method. Okay. Third semester, my counselor said, "You have to declare your major." I said, "Yes." His name was Miller. I said, "Dean Miller, I have no idea what I want to be." And he's like, literally, 99% I thought I would be a psychologist. Because I had taken so many psychology courses. Because I've been infatuated with human behavior. So I took so many that I was finished with psychology and philosophy. Two elective courses I kept taking: philosophy of religion, philosophy of logical thinking, philosophy, psychology. Third semester of my university, the dean said, "You have one elective course left. You have to declare a major." I said, "Okay." So I went out of the dean's office and I went around. If anybody who goes to Rutgers, they'll know right outside Miller Hall, there's a huge lawn. I asked everybody. I said, "Next semester, what's the easy course?" I am going and asking strangers. I mean, I know them by face because we're going. I said, "What's the easy course? Who gives a straight A?"
Oh my God.
A little bit of effort. So one person says Bruno Parigi is I love him. I salute him. He's been my mentor for years in economics. And he says, Professor Parigi. I said, okay, what is he teaching this semester? This is money in banking. And I was like, money in banking? What the hell? It must be such a dry subject, money in banking. But I had no choice. So I ran back in to Dean Miller's office for registration. I said, Dean, most probably I think I'm going to take money in banking and I will decide this semester. I swear, Fatima, the first class I attended, I felt I found my calling in life.
Wow.
I picked up the book. It was a 389-page book, the big one, not the small book, the textbook, huge, this big. I finished it in 2 weeks.
My
I was
God.
doing nothing but reading. And I went back to Parigi and I started asking questions. In class, he made me shut up. He's like, you can't do this. You have finished the book. You can't. I said, can I come to your office hours? He's like, yes, sure. So I was sick. And I would say, but how does this happen? But how does this happen? But how does this happen? He's like, don't ask me. Take these related books. I would take the related books, finish them, and come back. And I would ask him, he said to me, he says, either you're going to be an economist or an investment banker. Economists are not very rich. Investment bankers are very rich. So, the greedy little lad I was, I said, investment banking. Yes, investment banking. And fourth semester, I declared double major, finance and economics. And my dean was like laughing at me. He goes, first, I couldn't force you to declare a major. And then you come back and you're saying you're going to do 30 extra credits and do 2 majors. I said, no problem. Finance, economics, anything, I'll read. I'll read. And so I call myself an accidental banker, I swear. But accidentally, I found my calling in life. And that was through books. And books, people ask me, how do you develop a habit of reading in late teenage years or early 20s? No problem. Read 5 pages a day. That's it. 99% of the people get sick of reading because they started like New Year resolution. 364 days, they wrote quit smoking. 11:59, I'm gonna quit smoking today and I'll never smoke for the rest of my life. Oh, come on.
That's not gonna work.
You go to the bookstore and you buy 7 books. From today onwards, I'm gonna become an avid reader. And then comes January 1st and January 2nd, more metaphorically, and 10 days of January, and you're like, heck with it, I'm smoking again. Same thing happens with books. Don't buy any book. Please don't buy any books. Go on internet first. Go start reading. 5 pages or 20 minutes. Go to any website that you like.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to find your interest of reading. Mine have been, finance is now my interest of reading.
Of course.
It's not.
Yes.
People say that I said it's a mandatory reading for me. If I want to keep up with finance, investment banking, came politics. People say, how do you know whatever little you know about politics? With investment banking, as an investment banker who's running an investment bank on Wall Street and investing in 19 different countries, you have to have a total grasp of the political situation in relation to history, their historical political situation. What happens in Thailand? How does the monarchy and the democracy works? What happens in Argentina? How quickly the governments can be toppled. So you know what to do. Should I invest there or not? My interest have always been human behavior and autobiographies. I feel an autobiography is written usually in your late 40s or early 50s. Autobiography, not somebody's writing biography for you.
Yeah,
when you write your own biography, your late 40s, 50s, early 60s. And I don't think anybody lies in their biographies.
yeah.
I don't think anybody does. I'm not talking about Madonna and somebody else writing for her. That's besides the point. I'm talking about successful people.
Yes, true.
In 400 pages, you are getting 40 years of that person's experience.
Yes.
In 400 pages.
Yes.
You can read one biography a month times 40 years. 480 years of other people's experience you can learn from 1 year. I do not think there is a single biography of a successful person left. I've read about 670 biographies in my life. So I don't think there is a single biography left. For the first 15 to 18 years from Wall Street, I read nothing but biographies. Nothing but biography. In between, I would read the self-help small books from Norman Vincent Peale or anybody else, Dr. Joseph Murphy or anyone, Stephen Covey, anybody who came, because those were paperback. And I took speed reading courses. Then when I was 26, I took speed reading courses because I always felt I'm running out of time. The more I read, the more I realized I know nothing.
Wow.
The more I swear it is an absolute journey of me finding out I'm ignorant. I have been more ignorant every new year. Life has made me realize that every passing year, how much more ignorant I am and how much more confident I thought I was the last year. I read something new. That brings humility in a person.
Yes.
So people say the role of books in a successful person's life, everything, you just have to change your point of view of looking at books.
Yes. Yes.
Are you looking to gain? There's books. People say, what are your favorite books? I don't have any favorite books. I swear I don't. Because my favorite book remains favorite for 5 months until I read something else. And then I say, oh, this is the better one than the previous one. And after 10 years of reading, I said to myself, I don't have any. I like certain books. If somebody asks, out of all the self-help books, which one would I give a young man to read? I would say The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. That book I read at 24. I should have read it when I was 17. So when people ask me to guide them about books, I say I can only tell you which one should be the first step. But you have to climb the stairs on your own.
That is so important, Mirza, because so many people actually come to us asking the same questions. How can we start reading? So recently, I wouldn't say like really recently, but a few months back, we conducted a few seminars. One of them was in HEC. And there was a person who stood up and said, look, I'm 35 years of age. So Fatima, you claim so high that, we should be a community of readers. We should be, a society of readers. So how about you giving me some tip? Because I'm like 30 years of age and I'm not a reader as yet. And so exactly the kind of things that you are, mashallah, sharing with us, we use them as tools to tell people that this is how you can become, a good reader.
Magazine. 5 pages a day or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Do that for 40 days straight. For a human being, it's a neuro-linguistic proven fact through neuroscience that if you want to develop any habit, which is a mental habit, not a physical habit. Physical habit could be developed in 20, 22 days, but a mental habit, reading is a mental habit, exercising is a physical and mental habit. So it's an easy way out. It's just a mental habit. Read for 40 days. Don't expect miracles from books, first of all. People set such high expectations from books that they disappoint themselves. You will learn to evaluate books when you have read 200.
Oh, yes, very.
Maybe. You will get to know the author's style in every category, every genre. Even a book by an economist, there is a personality behind that writing. A negative person, a pessimistic person will pick all the negative indicators of a country's economy. What do you think is happening in Pakistan today?
Oh, yes. Everybody is just being negative.
Yeah. So you get to know. Before I read an article of someone, I have an image of their personality because I know what they have been writing.
Yes.
So I somewhat expect, I want to be surprised, but I am a die-hard optimist. Die-hard. And books have made me optimist. Because books create scenarios that make you empathic. Books create scenarios that you can't create in your head. And then you realize, how are you reacting to that scenario? Oh, a car came and crashed into the wall. You're not in that car. You're not in the car. You're not the driver. Does your heart jump into your throat? Or you remain calm? Does the book control your emotions? In the beginning it would. Like movies. People start bawling their eyes out. Knowing is fake. Knowing is fake.
That's true. That's true.
It's perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine. But for books are better than movies. Books.
That's so true.
There's so many scenarios that are created in books that you can test yourself. Am I emotional? Am I strong? Do I have critical thinking? Do I have humility in me? If you read in a book, man walks out of a Ferrari with a gold president Rolex, smoking a cigar and carrying a wad of $10,000 in his pocket, comes and throws the money at everyone and treats the chauffeur with disgust. If that is a small little paragraph, the first thing I would say to myself is, what an idiot. I'm just not joking. The first thing I would say to myself, that makes me realize I would never act like that. I would never act like that. Book teaches you the things that you haven't even experienced that you don't like, or the things that you have not even experienced that you like. You read somebody sits down on the sidewalk with a poor person and breaks bread with him and quietly gets up, folds his hands and gives him something and walks away. You say to yourself, yeah, I want to do that. If you haven't done it, you look for a reason to do it then. Because now you have a mentally created scenario. We all use the power of our vision. We envision, we imagine things. You imagine yourself sitting with that poor person on the sidewalk. And you feel good. And our mind gets trained. Whatever you feel good, prior to it happening, you look forward to doing it.
Yes, yes,
Whatever
true,
makes
true.
you feel bad prior to it happening, you avoid doing it. So why not live your life in the future through books in the present?
Yes, you relate. That's perfect. Mirza, we've got a few comments. I really want you to hear these because these are very nice comments coming in, and I wanted you to know a lot of people are appreciating and asking a few questions, which I'm going to put forward after, after I'm going to tell you that there are a lot of people commenting in such a positive way. They're really thanking you a lot for being here today. Usva says, childhood stories. Thank you so very much. You started with such an amazing thing. Love it all. The session is great. Zimul says, this is an amazing session. Then Faisal Azim is here, and he wants to say to you, sir, that I'm a big fan of yours. I've been following you since the day I took interest in the business field. It's great to have you today. Okay, Humaira Liakis says, sir, thank you so very much for giving us time. Precious Doll says, nice platforms for us to learn, definitely. And then we have...
Thanks to the people. 1 second, Bita. 1 second, Fatima. Thanks to the people who thought of this. Thanks to the people who created this platform. Thanks to them. There are billion times better people than me around. Billion times better. I am nothing. I'm just giving you 2 cents of my story. I'm here today, I'll be gone tomorrow. But the people who are putting all these people together, Fatima, you, Farrokh, everybody who loves books, God, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you guys. For the first time, I think I would like to thank you for inviting me instead of you thanking me for being here.
Thank you so very much. This is so amazing. I'm just flabbergasted now. And who is saying amazing, sir? A few things that I think there was a very nice question. Let me also go to that. By the way, Usfa says, I'm inspired by your personality. And then we have Sirat Rafiq. I'll just show it on the screen, sir. It says, readers set goals for themselves whenever they sit down with a good book, whether setting out to read a specific amount of pages before moving on to another activity or deciding to read until a certain concept is solidified in their minds. Readers actively try to accomplish something whenever they open a text. Later, she is also going to ask, just let me pull this string down so that she can have her question. She wants to know about your most favorite books as well. But I think this has been answered. I'm sorry, Siraj, because sir said that he doesn't have
I
specific...
the book that I liked. I wrote it down before you. I knew this question would come up, literally. So I'll tell you, it's a mixture of a few things. I wrote it down because I knew people would ask. The first book I always say for you to get better as a human being, it's a simple book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Anybody can download it. And then I would say Of Mice and Men. It's a novel. I love it. If you want to learn about politics, it's the Republic by Plato. It is
yes.
The Republic. Oh God, that book I've read so many times, 800-900 pages, and every time I find something new in it. Long Walk to Freedom. One of my favorite books. Malcolm X. I love that. I like Ernest Hemingway a lot. So A Movable Feast by Ernest Hemingway. I've been to Hemingway's house in the Key West when I was in Florida. Oh yeah. I bought a cigar and there's a cigar shop right across, and everybody says it. I was like, I already smoked cigars, but I felt like in my young age, Chichora, that I am a reader and I love Ernest Hemingway. I'm telling you, I have so many stories of my young age where I can hide myself in being alone. And I said, oh my God, how could I have done that? So I got a cigar. I went to Hemingway's house, and then I sat in his chair, and And a few of our friends had gone together, and we had the Kodak camera, which had like 35 pictures, and that was the last picture left. And a friend of mine, and we were all broke. And the last picture of mine, and my friend says to me, I'm like, take this picture. I'm in Hemingway's chair. Do you guys realize the legend he was? And none of my friends were, sorry to say that, guys, don't kill me afterwards. They'll be watching, some of them will be watching this video. They were not readers. None of my friends were readers. Sorry. So this is a fact. And I had to promise them to buy a $25 new camera, the disposable one, for one picture of me at Hemingway's house in his chair. And I agreed. At the moment we walked out, everybody's like, $25, come on, $25. So I bought it. So Hemingway, Mark Twain, the autobiography of Mark Twain, amazing. And this one book, everybody will say Quran, it's a fact. I've read Quran 21 times, one time in Arabic, 21 times with translation. I had gone through clinical depression in my mid-30s. Clinical depression. And books saved me. I was such an arrogant person within me that I was not ready to go see a psychiatrist. I openly talk about these things so the younger people can see, okay, I opened up an investment bank, I did this, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. The 99 painful things. That's what every successful person should talk about. 99. What one thing, I did it 25 years ago. Heck with it, I did it. I didn't do it. Allah made me do it. His help, His yaqeen, everything. What and a 29-year-old kid can think out of his arrogance that he opened up an investment bank. Are you kidding me? I look back and I say to myself, oh my God, how arrogant I was. I used to think I did it. When I lost everything in my mid-30s, I went into clinical depression. And I use the word clinical because I would sleep for 18 hours a day. I would not get out of my room for 7 days at a time. All my curtains were drawn. I was divorced. I had lost everything. I had 2 young boys that would be with my mother in the same house. I would not take a shower for 10 days at a time. No need to eat, no hunger, nothing. Every thought that came into my mind, I would say, Ya Allah, drop this roof on my head, please. Because I'm a coward, I can't take my life. And then my mother said to me, start reading Quran. You know what my first reaction was? I come from a family of Sayyids. I'm a Sayyid. Ali Khan is a title. It's not I am a Rizvi Sayyid from my father's side, and I'm an Abdi Sayyid from my mother's side. So, I come from a very religious mother's side. And my mother said, read Quran. And my first reaction, was, what is it going to do? That's how clinically depressed I was. She goes, no, I'm not asking you to read it in Arabic. I want you to read with translation. And my mother is from Lucknow, so my Urdu I have that typical Lucknowi Urdu. I read, write, understand. So I started reading in Urdu. And the second time around, Fatima, I learned how not to give up from Quran. I read that every prophet had more difficulties than I did. I at least was running for my fame, money, power, accomplishment. Prophets were selfless. Imagine a selfless person being opposed. And they went out with a smile on their faces. Then I read Nahjul Balagha. I went and said Maula Ali's khutbahs. And that gave me the strength to go see a psychiatrist. I went to my psychiatrist and I said to Dr. Faizi, the head of Aga Khan, he's retired now, he's the head of psychiatric department. I don't hide. I tell everybody he was my psychiatrist. And I told him, I said, I'm arrogant, not at all to other people, but I'm arrogant that I think I don't need a psychiatrist. Because I've been a leader till this age, and I think I can solve my problems. I said, and I know I can't. That's the ignorant side of me also. I know that I can't, that my arrogance is wrong. So, Doc, this first session, do something that I come back. He goes, what made you come to me first time? I said, Nahjul Balagha and Quran. He goes, and you will not come here again and you will deny those two books?
He made you come back.
And that, I swear, hit me like a brick. I was like, Allahu Akbar. And he was such a funny psychiatrist. He told me a joke. I'll share it quickly. He said, a very religious person, there is flood in his gown, and he gets swept in the flood, goes, grabs a tree, and this Navy helicopter comes, and this Maulana, whoever religious person says, no, I'm very scared of helicopters, and if I try to get up on the rope, I'll fall, and the water flow will take me, and I'll die. Helicopter goes. 5 seconds later, Navy boat comes. He's like, no, too many people on the boat. If I come in, it'll tip over, and I will die. Boom! Flood comes, he dies. He goes to Allah, and he says, Allah Mia, I was such a good human being. I have always believed in you. And you didn't save me? And this voice comes from behind, you idiot. Who sent you the helicopter and the boat?
Yes.
This is the joke my psychiatrist told me. He goes, those two books are the helicopter and the boat. If you don't want to come, you get up now. Otherwise, it'll take you 6 to 7 months of coming 2 times a week. And I'll give you medication. And I tell you, book saved me. Then I started reading about Van Gogh. I started reading about Abraham Lincoln. I started reading about everybody, all the depressed people in the world. I came to find out from books that, whoa, I'm not the only one. As recently as Oprah Winfrey, as recently as Nelson Mandela, clinically diagnosed as depressed.
Yes.
And I started saying to myself, oh, no problem. If a chemical is imbalanced here, I am not to be blamed. If somebody comes and cuts me on my hand, I'm not to be blamed. If I don't go to the hospital, I'm to be blamed. And books taught me that. So I tell you, what's the first word of contact between Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Iqra. Read. First word of contact.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, your body shivers. He didn't say see. He didn't say listen. He didn't say pay attention. It was Allah. He could have said any word.
True.
The infinite wisdom chose one word that will remain in the history till the doomsday. And that was read. Only religion in the world. Only 124,000 prophets came, 38 known, 4 books. No book starts with the word read, except our book. What more important do you need to know about reading? You and I claim to be Muslims, and Allah's first commandment to his most beloved prophet, we can't follow? So reading... No, I want to encourage 5 pages a day, 5 pages a night, whatever you like. Sports, cars, baseball, fashion, makeup. I swear, anything you like. 5 pages a day for 40 days. That's it. And you'll find yourself to be a reader. Don't go buy a book, please. Don't go buy a book. First time, don't buy a book, please.
Mirsam, you're a university in yourself. You know that? Has anybody told you this? That you're a complete university, you're a moving around university yourself. In this session, I'm always very much, I try to keep my mouth shut, but at times, because I would like to interact with people as well. So always I'm, sort of poking my own comments in the middle. And you are the only person, and you can have a look at my other sessions as well, that I've never said it. I've never said it to anyone, but you are that amazing person who I just don't want to speak a word. I just want to listen to. You are superb, really out of this world, and I do not need to say it in too many words. It is just a pleasure just to listen to you. You're a walking university. Just a few comments.
Most of the elective classes. University is all elective classes.
Yeah, all the ones that you wanted to have. Sidra Mushtaq Malik is saying, beautiful terms, sir. You have, explained emotional management, the key to success. Excellent talk. Noman Sethi says with Read Talk. Amna Ijaz says that sir is so enthusiastic and so positive, loving his aura. Absolutely right. Uswa says, Noor says, your enthusiasm is so motivating, sir. And obviously she's making a smiley right there. And then we have a lot of people saying a lot of good comments that they're enjoying the talk. And I think, I don't know if you can see all of these comments, but Zatasha says, that thank you very much. Manur says, super. Precious Doll says, reading is leading, and that he is enjoying, this talk a lot. He or she, because this is the name is not very obvious. Sirius says that this is an amazing session. Faisal Azim says economists are not very rich. He's laughing on your statement and appreciating the whole session.
I have to be honest to Azim. I'm sorry. That's what he was an economist, Bruno Parigi. He was an economist himself, and that's what he told me, and scared the living daylights out of me. He goes, you're going to end up teaching. You're not going to make much. And you'll just keep doing your thesis. You want to do your PhD. And I said, my mother would be very happy that I did my PhD, but I want a Ferrari. I don't want a PhD. I swear.
You want a Ferrari.
That broke note, not more than $8 to $10 in my pocket. And I'm telling him, I want a Ferrari. I don't want a PhD. Toba, toba.
But you've achieved all heights. I'm going to share this one comment. It's a question. I know we have very little time, sir, but Amna just says, can you please relate humility and reading on a more deeper level? This is a complicated, I would rather say it's a good question, but it will take a bit of time. If you have 1 or 2 minutes, you can explain this a bit.
Great. I'm loving this session. So you can extend it a bit if you like. Believe me, I'm at the office.
It's lovely to have you, sir. Please. So here's the question.
First of all, one has to understand the word humility. Yes. We think of humility as an opposite of arrogance. I don't look at humility as an opposite of arrogance.
Okay.
I don't want to be humble because I want to stay away from arrogance. I don't want to keep myself clean because I don't want to be a teacher. No, I want to stay clean because I would love to stay clean. Simple. I want to remain humble because it makes me feel good. Because my prophet was humble. Because my imams were humble. My khalifas were humble. That's the religious side. Every leader was humble except Hitler and Mussolini. Or Stalin. Every leader is humble. And what is a leader? Every human being is a leader. Even a rickshawala is a leader to his family. How he treats his family when he goes home. He's leading his family. He's leading his wife. He's leading his children. He's leading his older parents in his house. If he's arrogant there, imagine that. So humility is something, it's like you like to eat good food. You like to eat healthy. You like to eat healthy because it makes you feel good. So if you want to be a humble person, the biggest mistake people make is like, I don't want to be like him or her. It's a non-existent issue. An arrogant person shouldn't even be within the circle of your thoughts. You're not running away from them. You're staying in a place and creating yourself. You create yourself. Believe me, you create yourself. I have chiseled myself into who I am today. Painfully. I have made blunders in my earlier life, which I don't today. That one chisel. I made a mistake. I won't do it again. That's another chisel. And till the last moment, reading will make you realize the first thing, no matter how rich you are, somebody is richer than you. No matter how intelligent you are, somebody is more intelligent than you. No matter how beautiful you are, somebody is more beautiful than you. Beauty is abstract. You can not be beautiful and beautiful to the world. You can be a great human being. There could be other great human beings. Reading makes you realize this point. You're nothing. Read about physics. Read about astrophysics. You want to know? You're not even a blimp. You're not even a blimp on the radar, because our universe, the entire planet Earth, is a blimp on the radar.
So true. So true.
If you literally look at a picture of the entire universe, and if somebody asks you to find, this is through reading, right? And somebody asks you to find Earth, I swear you would need a microscopic lens to look where Earth is. And that's 7 billion people in a small blimp. Who the hell you and I are then? Who are we? That alone makes you humble, if you think about it. Reading is never going to change your life unless you think about what you're reading. Sometimes put the book down. Sometimes I read a book, some sentence makes me get stuck. I put it down. If I have an hour and a half and first 5 minutes, something hits me. Next 1 hour, 45 minutes, I lay in bed thinking about that point. What does Quran Sharif say? Hai koi jo soche.
Yes.
Nowhere does it say hai koi jo padhe. Nowhere does it say once hai koi jo Quran padhe. I challenge everyone to show me one sentence that it says hai koi. Why does Allah talk in question marks?
For you to understand it better, for you to know.
Because he's putting a question to you.
Yes, for you to understand yourself better.
He could have given a translation in 65,000 volumes. It's been 1,400 years. He could have managed 17,000 volumes of translation. No, he wants you to think. Everything. Think. Alhamdulillah Rabbul Alameen. The first sentence makes me think. Alameen? We talk about Alam.
Yes.
Alameen in Arabic is infinite. 70,000 angels. Why? The digit 7 in Arabic represents infinity. Where did I learn that from? I learned that from books. Read. Believe me, the most part, I don't want to say this, I may sound morbid. The most beautiful death to me would be me leaving this world in my library. And I'm not saying this in a morbid way. Everybody has to go. And my children, my wife, my parents, everybody knows. I say, one book, reading old man with glasses on my armchair, and I'm gone. And the book falls on my chest. So that's humility. That's it. Humility.
You're an inspiration. That's humility, yes. And you're an inspiration. That's another fact. It's amazing to have you. Sabina, here we have Sabina Rashid. She's saying, amazing speaker, lucky to click on it randomly. May I know the name of the speaker, as I am from India? Let me just put it here. And don't know about him. You are so inspirational, sir. May Allah bless you. So this I really want to do, because somebody has just randomly clicked on us. Literally wanna another one. Literally wanna listen to this session again and again. This is so true. I'm gonna do that to myself.
You guys are making me blush, and I don't blush. I'm telling you, I don't blush.
You are worth it. You know that yourself. You are worth it. And I am so basic. I know that we're going a minute over time, but seriously, Mirza, this is not just saying it. This is a superb session. Everybody knows it. I personally feel so enlightened. And at one time,
I want to commit to you guys. You can take me every 5-6 weeks about books. And I'll commit to you for a year, no matter where I am. Since this session is online, 4 to 6 weeks for 12 months, I literally, publicly commit to you. Publicly. I would never in a billion years commit to any other subject. I have no interest. I think I want to tell so much to the young generation. If I can create 10 readers in this 12 months, I swear I'll die a happier man, because those 10 readers will create 20 more. Those 20 more will create their children as readers. So
Mashallah.
I commit to you. Whenever you want it, you have my number, beta. Just let me know a week in advance. So no matter where I am.
God bless you. You're an inspiration, but this thing, and I didn't even say to you, I am so glad that you have committed for this. And frankly speaking, when we ask people to come and share their story with books, it's just something that we want that people should be inspired. And you being an icon of inspiration, saying this to me is like you've gifted me with something.
And you know what's going to happen now? Lots of people I've always asked me, we have series of lecture. And I said, man, you're going to get bored. You see me 3 times in the screen, you'll get bored, because I don't want to repeat. I mean, how much can you talk about finance?
No.
Listen, yes. I'm being honest. How much can you talk about finance? How much can you talk about politics? How much can you? You can talk about books. Oh God, I can be 90 years old sitting here straight to 90 with my batisi like this. We can talk about. I suggest before we get off, we can talk about specific topics next time.
Yes.
What to find in inspirational books. What to find.
Amazing. This was just about, actually, Mirza, it was just about you. And exactly it's been nailed. That people, because I wanted people to be inspired. I want the new generation to be inspired, to create readers, to get that thing inside them, because the purpose is to instill the reading habit, not to just create libraries and throw them and then people are not reading.
Like the word instill. I'm telling you, I've been hearing this all my life, my mother told me, instill this reading habit. I said to my mother, I said, Mama, it feels like you want me to drill it in their head. I said, I want to lure them into books. Literally, I'm not joking. I want to trick them into books. It's such a bad word I'm using, but for some, the end justifies the means, you know. I have lured my boys into reading. You finish this book, give me an essay, handwritten, not typed, because that's painful. When they were 14, 15, and I'll give you $50. Otherwise, you don't get more than $10.
Oh, that's a nice way.
For reading the book, you get $10. For giving me a handwritten, at least 10-page summary.
So true. So true.
Today,
that's a splendid tip. I've shared a lot of tips with people for different ages, from, so God knows, as in when you're expecting, what should you read, when you're expecting, how you should, start reading, when your boy is like 0 of age, and then so on, when your child is of 0.
Let me tell you one little thing. The scientific fact I read in a Harvard Medical Review journal years ago, in the psychology section, that fathers should read to the baby in mother's womb. The mother herself should read out loud.
Yes, because the baby is listening.
4th month, baby can hear you.
Yes, baby, you're right. I've been telling that.
The new neuroscientific research says that the 4th month baby understands the language. And it's scary. Certain things we don't understand, but fathers, the young boys, young men, get next to your wife's stomach and read, please. So anyway,
thank you so much. We will go on with these sessions, and now that you have committed, you're a man of your word.
I have and it's my public commitment to you. To the reader.
Yes, to everybody. Everybody's very happy. I'm receiving a lot of comments still. Fiza Munawar is saying, Allahu Akbar. I mean, which means that she's really, really awestruck. I would like to know more about reading. Kulsum is saying, parental development. Amazing. Kulsum saying, I'm now appreciating. And so, there are a lot of comments. Mir, I've taken a lot of your time. I am so glad to you that I think my words will never be enough, even if I keep on going on for so many minutes. And I don't know whether you felt it when you were talking of Quran. I literally had tears in my eyes. A person with wisdom, a person with knowledge, only that person can move another soul. And this is, I'm saying it from my heart. I've never cried over sessions. Trust me. This is not.
May Allah help you in this jihad that you have started.
Thank you.
It is a jihad. Expect nothing in return.
No.
Except from Allah. Except from Allah. I'm telling you. Certain things are missions. Certain things are jihad. And just remember, Allah's first words to the Prophet were Iqra, and you are trying to tell people Iqra. Bas. So it's a jihad. Allah will bring it. Bring all the fruit, and to your family, inshallah.
Thank you, Reza. May Allah bless you always. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Beta. Thank you, Beta. Thank you.
Thank you.